Hello, welcome to another episode of Out of Stand Nation.
What's
We've got a very R&B and hip hop filled episode.
I mean, it's not all R&B and hip hop, but it is heavily R&B and hip hop.
It pretty much is R&B hip hop, R&B hip hop, R&B hip hop. Yep, it's pretty much is all R&B and hip hop with a little bit of infusions of pop and some reggaeton, reggae or reggaeton, one of those. So, yeah, we just kick it off with this first one.
Yeah.
So first one is Lise with My Spring, Your Flower. And this is actually the second song that I've checked out from her. I've seen one of her other songs from earlier this year.
Okay.
But apparently she's been in the business for about 9 years now. She debuted in 2012.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the song is a very... Well, this one's actually more of a ballad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
That's why I was like, all hip. But this is
Yeah.
probably the one.
Yeah. The one that's not hip hop R&B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is
Yeah, I
so
know.
beautiful.
Mhm.
Like especially with My Spring, Your Flowers. It starts out with that piano and how it slowly introduces the introduces the other
The
instruments.
violins.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I remember I was saying too, like maybe 2 episodes ago, like, because Nick always says like, yeah, it's really hard to talk about ballads because they're generally, kind of within the same realm of sound and chord progression and whatnot. And at that time I was saying like, yeah, I'm actually like would be really into seeing like a kind of a grand orchestra type of ballad, and this one kind of takes it closer to that.
Right.
Which is, with the way you described the opening, right? With the way the violins came in and the other stringed instruments.
Exactly.
So,
And it's a nice change of pace because, like, usually it's granted all the ballads are very much vocals focused. That's how ballads are.
Yep.
But I like how this doesn't completely overtake the instruments. It gives a really nice balance.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's points in the song where the instrumentation gets out of the way of her vocals, right? They take a back seat. They let her vocals take control of the song.
Right.
And then there's other parts where, the volume picks up for the instrumentals, right? And especially like at those points where she's really trying to kind of sell the impact, right, of the emotion for the song. And the instruments are all there playing in a much louder volume to accentuate, what she's got going on with her vocals. It really makes for a much more emotionally engaging song for me. Like this is exactly what I was wanting to hear. Just man, it was yeah. When I heard it, I was like, yep, this is gonna get a strong recommendation to my wife for check out. So.
I mean, it is a beautiful song to start off spring with as well. Spring has so many connotations with like the beginnings of many things, and it just feels like a beautiful beginning to the season. Especially after being in winter for so long. Being in winter.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of those allusions too, where it's like they use the winter as like representative of the cold, empty place that you're in when you've just gone through a breakup, and then have spring be the warming up and starting a new, venturing on to, a new chapter of your life. We see that a lot too with like ballads. So because the song itself, it has a fairly somber tone to begin with,
Right.
and then it picks up in a much more refreshing pace, and you kind of feel like that I mean, Nick talks about this a lot, right? Like the tension and then the release, and here you kind of see that with the emotion as well, right? You're bottling up all those emotions and you're just gonna
Like let
it go.
it all out.
Yep. And she delivers that with her vocals. So it's very beautiful. I love the way they did the mixing and the mastering. They didn't have the instrumentation too far in the back.
Oh, right.
They had it very nicely balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Where, yeah, it felt like she was very much singing with the music, with the instruments.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And and something that that I usually say when it comes to ballad songs, the music video itself, it is very much not very difficult. It is very much centered around the artist. It's helped to complement the song, and it doesn't use too much, but what it uses is a soft filter, backlighting, and all that to kind of create an angelic, almost a bright feel to help signify and push this idea of the beginning of something. And I think it does it so well for this music video.
And to counteract those moments of like where they have like the angelic feeling of the scenes, they also have other scenes where they set the lighting up in a way where they have the shadow casting over her face, to kind of like show like that
exactly
kind of being in that dark place, right? One thing I thought was intriguing. So at about maybe the last quarter of the song, right, where she belts out that high sustained note. You remember earlier when I was talking about the tension and the release, right? Bottling up all these emotions, letting it go, and then you just feel like relieved because it's all let out. They very strongly signified that with they had an overlay of a flower blooming rapidly, right, to the pace of her delivering that note, and then shortly right after she releases that note, you see it curl up and some flames. It's just like taking that emotion, letting it go. And so I haven't seen that symbolism used before. Well, I have, but like not in a long while. Like
it's right? Been a long. It doesn't happen as often anymore these days. Because
it was more like a 90s thing. I would say
it was a very common trope in the 90s. It'd be nice to see it come back, because this is one of the tropes that probably got played out in the 90s and everybody got tired of it. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not, I don't hate the trope. I do find it a little bit cliche sometimes, but sometimes having a cliche here and there isn't that bad, okay?
Yeah, and we do get tired of things when they get overdone, like just like how we always go back to the Girl Crush onslaught of late 2018 to 2019. Like, Girl Crush is great, just when it was too much. There is such a thing as too much.
Yeah, especially if you're listening to maybe 200-300 songs every like 3 months.
Yeah, at the very least, it's like we average about 30 to 40 songs a week.
Exactly.
So throughout this whole music video, and I'm clicking through right now, there is not a single scene where you do not see a flower.
Whether it's
every single scene has a flower.
Whether it's like a real flower, a fake flower, or even a tattooed flower. It is very much of a flowery focused song. And
for maybe about 7 seconds towards the end, where it's just a close up of her face where you don't see any flowers, but then I don't know, maybe you got like hidden somewhere, right? Because like you got those YouTube buttons that's in the way at the end. All right, well, you ready to move it on?
Yeah, let's move it on.
All right, why don't you go ahead and bring this one in?
All right, so you know how much we love the Produce series, the Produce groups, and all that. This is a group from 2019. They debuted in 2019. This is so you can either call them R1SE or Rise, either one. But they are the 2019 winners of the Chinese Produce program. Second season of this series, and this is the MV Zoom. and
Yeah.
I found this fairly interesting because of how it does take elements from basically the produce groups, but also kind of incorporates some Chinese flair into them.
Yes, especially with the usage of some traditional Chinese instruments. I'm not very familiar with them, but
Neither am I.
I recognize that they are at least Chinese instruments, traditional. So the way the song kicks off, and this is a very hip hop, song.
Right.
It starts off with like a bit of that kind of like mystical feeling delivered by those Chinese instruments, but then once they pick up with those synth percussions and like their their whisper rap intro,
Yeah.
which I thought was very intriguing. They did play around with some effects too, with between the left and the right channels. Like again, kind of add some more kind of sonic depth to the song, and especially with the way that again playing with that dynamic range with the with those instruments, but then also having the synth instruments.
Right.
I thought it was really intriguing. So.
Yeah, just like because almost had a martial arts film kind of feel to the music. Like you could definitely feel like, hey, I'm watching maybe a Jackie Chan film, a Jet Li film, and this song kind of comes up in one of the fight scenes.
Yeah, like leading up to a duel or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's several scenes too where like it shows like a hologram of a holographic projection of a temple like overhead. So they do have quite a bit of those I don't know, cultural like imagery as well in addition to the sound.
Yeah. And like they had that phoenix flying through as well.
Yeah.
But like their clothing style, their costume style, it very much feels like it's influenced from the Produce series, and it also has that like aura from the Produce series that like 101 had kind of in their music videos, and in the one music video for X1. Oh, that still hurts.
Yeah.
But unlike them, it's like with Rise, it feels like it's much more focused on the artists themselves and much less of the effects. You see them perform a lot more without like a lot of
it's almost like a performance video instead.
Yeah, you don't see as much CG.
You don't see as much CG. You don't have as much. I mean, you do have quite a bit of close-up shots. Charisma shots, but they're it really does feel much more like a performance video instead of like an actual like music video. I'm not complaining. Not saying that's wrong either. Just that's just an observation.
Yeah.
The level of allusions to like nature, scenes of nature, as well. I don't know, like it there's quite a few that I feel like I should notice, but not really quite picking up on. And I don't know if it's because like of my general lack of familiarity with Chinese culture, but like there, the scenes where they're dancing on top of the water, and then there's like that circle in the back. Like, is that supposed to represent like an eclipse, like a solar eclipse?
I feel like it is, but like I haven't watched this enough, and I don't have a very deep understanding of it. Of this entire music video so I can't say, but I feel like that is a very much of a possibility.
Yeah, and then there's like a other scene too where it's like they got this weird circular object overhead, but then painted like the walls are kind of have like a projection of color that's would make you think of like, I don't know, the Chinese that what's that desert, the Gobi Desert that they have.
I felt like it was more of a connection to just like the earth in general, because it was much more of an earthy feel. I'm trying to remember it's kind of like almost feels like this song was almost dedicated to the cardinal elements, which is like fire, water, wood,
earth, wind, fire. Yeah.
Well, at least from my understanding of Chinese culture, it was like fire, water, wood, earth, and gold.
Yeah, and then you had the I mean, they had the one projection of a shape of a lightning symbol towards the end. Like they're standing in like the formation of a lightning symbol. They had like an overlay of a fire effect.
Yeah, and
through CG.
And then they had like the trigrams as well. So it very much felt that, you know, there's some kind of allusion to martial arts elements and a lot of like Chinese traditions in it.
Yeah.
And it would require like basically a more in-depth like look into the culture, you know, to see how it really affects the music video, which unfortunately we haven't really done. But you do definitely do see the allusions to it.
I'm also really stupid because that is an eclipse that I was talking about earlier, because it shows it like in the first 10 seconds of the music video. I just didn't. Yeah.
I must have missed it too.
But yeah, you know, both visually it is intriguing, as well as musically. You know, the way that you do the whole whisper rap, you know, incorporating those Chinese instruments, but with like the synth instruments, kind of touching a little bit on trap, but also like a little bit of pop as well. So it is a pleasing song, even though I have very little familiarity with the Chinese language.
Yeah.
And this is Cantonese?
No, this is Mandarin.
Mandarin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mandarin.
Okay.
And then like kind of how unified even the backup dancers are with the guys. It shows how much like work that they would put in, because I don't know if you noticed that at the very end, you know, the backup dancers laid into like a lightning bolt. That lightning bolt is their is Rise's group symbol.
Oh, okay. So that's what the lightning symbolizes. Got it.
So, you know, it was so interesting, and just seeing how they just really integrated everything into making kind of everything flow and into basically representing the boys as a whole, because it's almost like a way to symbolize harmony, because it takes all the elements to harmonize. It takes a group to harmonize. It is very much of feels like a harmonized kind of group.
Now, I remember about like maybe 15 years ago, I had some friends like they were of Taiwanese descent. So, you know, I got exposed to a lot of you know, Mando pop from them, from Taiwan and whatnot. Like, so might actually, yeah, Jolin Tsai, well, she's one of them. And so I do recall, like, you know, there is some familiarity with the way the music video is structured, some of the like the way the color palettes are used. It does feel familiar, because I have had that exposure prior to during that period. And yeah, so, you know, for me it's all really novel.
Yeah.
So
I think in my youth, I was exposed to Jolin Tsai, Jay Chou, and
Jay Chou. That's another one. Yep. Edison Chen, is he another one, or is he an actor?
I don't remember. I don't think I listened to Edison Chen, but I remember listening to Jackie Chan a lot too. Which
oh yeah, because I forgot he was a big time singer in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Right.
So you know, like here in the U.S., like, or maybe even some other Western countries, Jackie Chan's known as the kung fu martial arts guy, but he's also
the silly kung fu guy, but he's also like a well established and distinguished musician, isn't he?
Yeah. One of my favorite songs from him is Little Big Soldier. So it is so if you haven't listened to that, by the way, listen to Jackie Chan's Little Big Soldier.
All right. Well, we ready to move it on?
Oh yeah, let's go.
All right. So this artist is someone I'm like very excited to have discovered. Her name is Bunny. and this is Across the Moon.
Mm-hmm.
So now she debuted in 2019 with a ballad, kind of soul ballad, and her first her second release, her previous one, was much more R&B, and here we have her in a much more R&B take as well. Now, I like one thing I really like about this song in particular, is her vocal timbre, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's got like a bit of a higher pitch than what we're normally used to hearing in R&B, and she's also much more airy, wispy with her vocal deliveries.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, it almost feels like, so if I was to take like Oh My Girl's Hyojung, and she was to do an R&B song, it would sound like this.
Mm-hmm.
So, and especially like with this kind of like ethereal kind of dreaminess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dreamy feel that the song itself has. And even so with the music video, it's got a little bit of that kind of urban dreaminess vibe. So.
Yeah, I mean, so from like this is such an easy song to listen to. It's not really one of those like hype up kind of like hip hop songs.
Oh no. Yeah, it's a vibing R&B song.
Like, maybe you want to grab a drink, chill with some friends, and just kind of like chill.
Mm-hmm.
That's
if you were to like just down mix the vocals a bit, and just remove some of the audio quality, you'd have a lo-fi song.
Huh. I didn't think about that.
Yep.
Wow.
It's not far removed from lo-fi. You were saying earlier.
Oh, and then like when it comes to the music video itself, the music video is what actually drew me more into than the song itself, because you notice
there's a lot of
you notice that there's a lot of colors and a lot of like imagery and all that. It's a very busy music video, to say the least. But it never focuses in on her. If you've noticed, either she'd be off to the side, or it cut off like parts of her face, or she'd be faded, or there'd be mixes of other imagery with her.
Or when they be sweeping the camera over to her before she comes into focus on the screen, they cut to a new scene.
Exactly. It just brought an interesting view in, because you don't see that a lot either, unless it's like almost the person feels lost within their sense of mind, their sense of worldliness. And this is also something that this song feels like it's alluding to as well. You're kind of wandering through the world. Feels like you're wandering through the world, wandering through all of that.
Yeah, it's just an overall ethereal vibe, and we all, like I've already established that a while back, that with that's one of the main reasons why I fell in love with like groups like Oh My Girl, Luna, Uju Sunyu, the BJSM, right? It's all for that similar type of vibe and theme, and so as I got to wanting to discover more about this artist, I checked out her Instagram, and bro. Yeah, she loves girl groups, and so it's no secret that I really love Saturday as a that girl group. Saturday not very popular, which by the way you should check them out. But
recommendations all around today.
Oh yeah, but Bonnie, she has signed albums from Saturday. She has signed albums from Promise 9, GWSN. She her very first post on her Instagram was a song from SIS.
She definitely sounds like someone that Nick would get along with beautifully.
Yeah, and she's got like, and she's got like a whole bunch of like albums too from Gugudan, and Gugudan was another group that that I really loved prior to them disbanding. So she loves her girl groups. She GWSN, Dream Note, Saturday, Promise 9, Gugudan.
Right.
she's one of us, bro. But she also likes Vix as well, and I know Nick likes Vix, right?
I believe so.
Oh, the boy group.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she likes idol groups in general, at the very least. But yeah, she definitely would fit in very well with this with our channel.
Talk about as many songs as possible. Big or small.
And I feel like because of her enthusiasm for girl groups, right? Especially like when you look at who those groups are, again, like Promise Nine, Gugudan, Saturday, GWSN. I feel like we hear some of that in her vocals. Because like I said right earlier, it feels like if I was to take All My Girls Hyojung and have her do an R&B song, this would probably be it. So,
I mean, it's for sure. It's not because it's definitely, if there's an artist that inspires you, you kind of start taking a little bit of their style and putting it into your own style, and that's what makes music so interesting. Is like you can be influenced by some amazing artist that could be not that far from your age, or it could be like a couple of generations away from you.
Yep.
And
yeah, so she's definitely gonna be another artist that I'm going to be following very closely, because even her previous releases were also really good. So also highly recommended.
Right.
So man, you ready to move it on?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to take it away?
Are you sure you want me to take it away? I feel like you would love to take this one.
All right. Well, it's no surprise that this is an artist that I really love. Nick really loves. Aura, he's enjoyed some of her releases.
Yeah.
But not as much of a enthusiast as we are. This is BB.
Straight threw me under the bus right there too, huh?
Absolutely, man. All the time, all day, every day. Can't have an episode without it.
Sometimes I hate you guys. Just know that. I lovingly hate you guys.
So this song and the rest of the songs really for the album, it's definitely tapping into the emotional angst of young adulthood. So this, in addition to the other releases that accompanied it, so Bad, Sad, and Mad, Pity the Dog,
Birthday Cake,
Birthday Cake, are all very much emotionally charged songs, and with a lot of angst in there. Now, Pity the Dog feels a bit more upbeat, but the lyrics behind it, is about feeling left behind by life. Like a dog left behind by its owner.
Right.
So, again, every bit of it is just a lot of angst that young adults would be able to feel like they can associate with. So, for this episode, we were focusing on Life Is a Bee. So, Aura, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
So this song is definitely hip hop. It's definitely compared to some of the other releases, this is actually one of the longest songs that she's released in the last month,
past 2 weeks. Yeah.
So which is also another reason why we chose to talk about this. Because Birthday Cake was maybe a minute, despite the music video being 2-3 minutes long. It's about a minute long of a song, if that. But like, this is one of the longer of the two songs that were released this week. And the emotion and the pain that comes through her vocals, you feel it
along with all the symbolism.
You feel the sadness. You feel almost as if you can relate to her, because we've all been down on our luck. We've all been in a place that isn't great.
Yeah, it's all relatable. And I feel like a lot of especially like among solo artists, right? A lot of solo artists do. You see this phase like within their discography, right? Because you saw something similar with IU. You know, you saw something similar with Hayes. You know, we see a lot of artists, right? After sometimes they debut directly to this angsty kind of artistic feel, or they usually like transition to it like fairly early on, and then they kind of start moving on to other things beyond that. Especially like as they hit like their mid 20s, late 20s. You know, she's 23 years old, so this is like right about the time that an artist would be releasing this type of this type of album.
Yeah, I mean it's a song about like struggling, you know, and
oh yeah, because 23 years old, that's about the time of struggle.
Yeah, and then and then then that pause in the song too, where you hear like her crying and yelling and all that
in front of the goddess of life. You know, so let me just roll back just a little bit.
My bad.
You know, at the beginning, when you had all those people running, and she sees all these people running, so she takes off running too. Did you not think of those prank videos from like way back when, like over 10 years ago, with the dinosaur running, the guy in the dinosaur costume?
Yeah. I mean,
that's actually what I first thought of.
it reminded me a lot of because I still see some of that today in some, or I could be off because some people re-upload stuff to YouTube, but of Japanese game shows where they prank like random celebrities.
That's the one I'm talking about. The guy, you already have a guy in a dinosaur costume, like running down the hallway, and you have all these extras that running away from it. So the target, right, the victim sees the people running. Some of them start running too. Yeah. Or others just like, well, why are people running? And they see the dinosaur and like, oh, and so they start running too because it looks pretty realistic, right? So that's the first thing I thought when I saw that scene. Yeah. So now back to the actual music video and the song. So one of her earlier scenes, she starts off with her in like a high school uniform, and then you see another scene of her like on a bicycle. It looked like she's doing deliveries as like a part-time worker or whatnot. But then another scene where she's like, she's dressed in a wedding dress chasing after the groom. And it looks like he's running away from her. Like, which, by the way, if it was me, I wouldn't be running away from her. So, but and then like other scene where it looks like she's either she's wearing like pajamas, or in like an asylum.
Right. I believe it's supposed to be a mental asylum.
Yeah. Because there's other people behind her too that are also wearing the same type of like asylum attire. So
yeah, so for me, like, it kind of just represents like it's from her descent from like, she starts off as a normal like everyday student, but as time progresses, as life has kind of beaten her down, tore her down, she ends up in a situation where she's running away from something in her youth. Everybody's running away faster than her. Everybody is leaving her behind. Her future or potential partner leaves her behind, to the point where she just breaks down and begs a goddess, like, why is this happening to me? Why is everything happening to me? And to the point where she's in a mental asylum and just broken down. And
then we see her at the end pushing a cart. She looks very homeless, like she's been homeless. And then once again, she's on that same field that she started off with all these people taking off running. And she tries to run, but she falls flat, and she's just on her back, being left behind by all the people that are running.
And I think that's something that a lot of people can relate to, especially who are going through rough patches. It's like, sometimes it just feels like you'll never get out of that section of your life, that you're just down on your luck. And
so you know, when you take it all into the context of the whole album, right? You know, they're one of the other songs on the album is kind of talking about like you're trying to make the best of things, even though you're just getting beat down.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, you know, the whole album just remains in that mode of angst, and not so much of moving on from it, but like it just captured that period of like when you're in that awful spot of life in life.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully the next album, you know, sees the recovery from this this part of life.
I mean, because with like I'm going to talk about a little bit about the birthday cake video as well, you know.
Yep.
Because it looks like it's a continuation of this music video, which is something you don't very much often see, like all the time.
Even though that one released before this music video did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be like a precursor. This could have been a precursor to that one, but either way,
Yep.
it shows like, you know, she's still like down on her luck. She's still,
Yep.
but you know, she's still trying to find those bits and pieces of happiness, despite it being rough. She's still going through that rough
Yep.
time.
Yeah, and then when you see like, when she finds that birthday cake, she takes it back to the place that she's staying at, lights a candle on top of it. You know, I could definitely. It felt very poignant because like I could definitely see, you know, myself, right, if I was homeless and, you know, I would just find this pristine birthday cake and then just light a candle on it because you just kind of want to feel normal again. Exactly. Yep. You picked up exactly on the same thing that I was picking up on, and just like, you know, it's sad, and then just the way she just breaks down crying afterwards as like the reality of her situation is like, you know, comes back to her and it's like, yep, here I am, I'm still in this awful place in life. It's really sad.
Yeah.
You know,
it honestly hits hard, and you know, it's not an easy place to get out of.
no.
And not everybody can
And some
get out
people-
of it either.
No, some people stay there the rest of their lives, which is unfortunate. You know?
Honestly, BB did an amazing job. Like these past 2 weeks of BB releases have been absolutely amazing. And the symbolism throughout her music videos have been, and the messages of these music videos have been so absolutely beautiful, because it brings up some harsh realities that a lot of people don't want to face, you know.
Yep. Now, everything that we talked about, you know, with the music video, you probably got a different image in your head of how the actual song sounds. You know, the song, it is very much kind of like removed of emotion. You know, it's you know, her straight hip hop deliveries of just, you know, her just kind of just doing her thing. You know, her usual charisma is still there. If you've you know heard her previous releases, like especially like Nabi and Binu, that is very much the same style delivery, right? A kind of deadpan kind of delivery, but it's she's delivering deadpan, but like all her charisma is still like, you know, just oozing through. Like there's no you can't remove her charisma. It's, you know, this is BB we're talking about. You know, it turns into a very vibey, you know, type of song. You know, but the music video itself it just punches hard.
It
you know?
For me, I found the music video so much more intriguing than the song, just because of how much effort she put into it.
Oh yeah, and she's, you know, she is, you know, a legitimate artist. You know, all that we see on here on display is just her raw artistry. So, right, well, it's time to move on to our next one, man.
All right.
You want to take it away?
All right. So I believe it's pronounced Alia.
Yep, Alia.
With My Happy Place. And
Did it put you in a happy place?
Yeah, it definitely put me in a happy place. But I will definitely say this isn't completely my favorite song that was released this week, but it was really good.
I thought it was like one of the more standout songs, just because it's just such a. You had it had almost kind of like a reggae vibe with the opening chords.
Yeah.
But then, it's very apparent that she's an R&B singer. You hear it, and then you also hear some of those auto-tune effects. So it's definitely probably one of the more original songs I've heard in a long time.
It's one of the more chill songs that makes you want to relax. It's not one of those like songs that makes you want to get up and dance, but makes you want to sit back and kind of reminisce.
Yeah, which reggae itself is very well known for having those qualities. You don't jam out to reggae or anything.
I mean, there are some jammable reggae songs,
but then they're not really full on reggae at that point, right? The probably is was it ska? When they mix ska when they mix reggae and rock.
You'd have to ask Nick about that, cause
no, that's ska.
Okay.
So yeah, so this is as we were describing, this is a very down tempo song. It's got some momentum to it. But her vocals, man, I love her. I love her vocal timbre. It's not like high pitched, but it's not like super deep. It's kind of wispy. Again, my type of vocals that I enjoy. More mature feeling, because I don't know, I enjoy that more, I guess. But
it's less of it's a tone where it's not cutesy, but at a tone where it's an easy listen is probably what I would say it is at. And it's
I mean that wispiness really does help make it very easy to listen to. So she's so she debuted in 2018, so she's been in the game for a while.
About three, maybe 3.5.
Yeah. So, and it definitely shows. She does carry herself with a bit of confidence and charisma throughout the music video. So,
yeah, I mean,
but
because I wouldn't say this music video is very complicated either.
It's just her walking around through the field.
So despite it being like a reggae, a hip hop kind of music video or a song, it very much holds I want to say almost a ballad kind of feel of a video, where it's very minimalist.
Yeah.
You just see that. You just see her walking through the field. You see her walking throughout the entire thing. There's not a lot of effects. Maybe the only real effects are to try to emphasize almost a memory with the whole film gradient kind of that might pop up once in a while.
Oh yeah. So, and you have one scene of her from overhead shot with a drone camera.
Yeah. But other than that, it's not a overly complicated music video, but it is the minimalistic of the music video. I don't know why I said it like that.
You're about to say it almost sounded like you were saying the minimalistic of the minimalistic.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, it's really minimalistic, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not. But no, the minimalistic of the music video helps to emphasize this doesn't need a lot to make this into a really beautiful song. And it works so well with it. And it's
and the song itself has a bit of intricacies to it. It's not in your face. It's just one of those things that as you listen to it, and especially when you're like us who actively listen to music, when it comes in with a snapping of the fingers or strumming of a chord of a guitar on strings for some chords, it feels really appreciated. Like when you because otherwise without it, it'd be a very boring song.
I feel well. This song is meant. I feel like this song you're meant to get lost in her vocals. You're meant to get lost in the guitar. You're meant to get lost into the feel.
In all those details.
Yeah.
Yep.
The fields.
All the while, vibing at home, or on the beach. Man, listening to this on the beach, I would definitely love to be at the beach. Having some adult drinks and relaxing to this song and getting lost in all her vocals and the elements, the sea breeze and the sound of the waves and all that. Like
yeah,
I hate being inland. I hate being in the middle of a desert.
Yeah, I love being near the ocean sometimes.
I spent the bulk of my entire life within 15 miles of the ocean. And then these past 3 years has just not been it. So
yeah,
I think that's another reason why I've really been enjoying the song. Just that vibe that of not being here where I'm at.
Yeah,
so.
Like honestly, when you listen to it and if you close your eyes, it feels like you're watching a waterfront. You're definitely seeing the ocean. It's very. It creates an image, a very scenic image where. Like even if it's not a field, it brings you to your a person's peaceful place, and I think that's what a lot of people need these days. Is their peaceful place.
My happy place, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what the song is about. Is putting you in your happy place. So it meets that intent for sure. So, all right. Well, it's time for the very last one. It's a hard hitting song that. Well, the song itself is not like super hard hitting. That's not like that type of song, but its impact on us was very hard hitting.
Oh yeah.
I think it would have been like another Ice and All Kill. So this is Bum Key featuring Mama Moo's Moonbyul. So Bum Key, he's another R&B soul singer. Debuted 2012, so he's been around for a while. So. And this song is The Lady.
It is so beautiful.
Absolutely, man. You just from what I said, right? You would expect this to be very much R&B. It's a very jazzy R&B with quite a bit of soul to it. And quite frankly, if you guys have been watching us for a while, you know that those are all the things that I love.
Right? Like what? Because I'm a big fan of Lee's song, and the soul that comes with their music, and it's something that I've missed for a while, and I think this song hits that part of what I love about soul so hard, and and it's interesting too because usually it's the female with the higher vocals that accompany the males. But here, Bum Key's the one with the higher vocal tone and is accompanied by Moonbyul's lower vocal tone, which that contrast just creates a dissonance, but it's that cognitive dissonance that it makes it so interesting and so fascinating to listen to.
Yep. Yeah, in much the same way that the piano keys, being a bit higher pitch compared to the bass guitar, it's similar kind of feel with the contrast there. And man, that piano was just present throughout the whole song, and that guy was just killing it. He or she was just killing it, And then you had to again, just all those instrumentations, that jazziness, bro, it was great. You already knew, right? Just from like the first 20 seconds, I fell in love with the song. I'm like, yep.
Oh, when I first listened to it, I was like, all right, so where's that timer? I want to see how fast Nick and Jihoon are gonna fall in love with this song, because I knew right from the bat, like, the vocals are going to bring in Nick. And the
jazziness for me.
And the soul for me.
as well as Moonbyul.
Oh yeah.
we all love Moonbyul. So, and I was honestly surprised too with how high Nick rated it, because I thought that maybe the jazziness would put him off, but this got like the max rating from it, which again, the rating doesn't mean like how much we enjoy the song, it means how much we are actually able to talk about a song,
which unfortunately he could not be here today to talk about all the points that he wanted to talk about, because usually if we say we can talk about it out of 5, we've got a lot to talk about, maybe with the vocality, the harmonies, the instrumentals,
or even the music video itself, like, so like if we see a song that has like a 5 rating from all 3 of us, we're like, man, okay, so cool, we'll be talking about 2 or 3 other songs, and in the next half hour will be that one song.
it could be but like this, but overall this song just feels like an appreciation to like your partner, your significant other, and that's why having both Bumkey and Moonbyul singing together as a pair is done so well, and this song is criminally underviewed. Okay.
Oh man, it's only got 266,000 views on Brand New Music, and
only 227,000 views on When the K. So about, I want to say 400,090, give or take a few.
Yeah, it's about 500,000.
Yeah.
I guess you need to get those numbers up, man.
Yeah.
So,
and this music video, it is laden with flowers, which has its own language, but I don't understand the language of flowers, by the way, but they are very beautiful, and there's got to be some kind of symbolism for these flowers. I don't know what these flowers are, but who doesn't appreciate a nice bouquet of flowers and being surrounded by a nice bouquet of flowers?
Usually that stands for like desire, love, or like striving for something that's unreachable. So in this case, it's probably more in the lines of like desire and love,
which definitely is conveyed through like Bumkey's like vocals. I don't understand the lyrics at all, but you definitely feel like the desire and the love for whoever he's writing this for, maybe a past relationship or a current relationship.
And you also got the yellow flowers too tinge in there, so referring to a burst of happiness. So
yeah,
and quite frankly, the way they deliver on the vocals and just the instrumentation goes, it definitely does feel like being in love, and that burst of happiness from being in love, and being in a fulfilling relationship.
This song definitely doesn't feel like it's one of those sad songs. It is definitely an uplifting song, and definitely fills you with so much joy.
So that scene, that part in the song where Bumkey starts rapping, it's so amazing, dude. Like, it's not like a hard rap or anything like that, but it was definitely much in the lines of like, really selling that feeling again, like everything you're talking about, like, this is a guy who's just so in love, and he's just so happy that he just can't, he can't wait to like just to let you know. So he's trying to tell it all to you right now, and that's just how it felt, as he was doing his rap. It was so great,
And can I just mention Moonbyul's outfit? Like, it is so simple, but it is so beautiful on her.
That that style of dress, I have been picking up on a few. I guess like that's kind of coming in as like the spring fashion. Not so much like just that pattern, but like that kind of simple style of dress. It's kind of poofy, especially around the shoulders and around the hips.
It looks really good, honestly.
It does look really good. I'm not complaining about that fashion at all. So, You know, I do follow a bit on fashion trends as well. So
I'm bad.
this song, man, this song is so it for me, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I guess when it comes to like our song of the week, man, it was already hard because we started off the week Sunday with Bumpkin and Moonbyul's of the Lady, and then Lisa's My Spring or Flower. I'm like, bro, it's already hard to choose between those two for my song of the week, and I really love both those songs.
Mm-hmm.
And then here comes Bonnie with Across the Moon.
BB's Life's a
BB.
B.
Yep, Alia with My Happy Place. Like, I love all these songs that just got released this week. You know, I'm like, I don't know what to do. And there's some other songs too that I didn't even bother posting. That just like, wow. So,
and it's such a shame that like we all listen to so many songs like from not just from like K-pop, C-pop, J-pop, Viet pop, and we don't get a chance to talk about all these songs. This is very much a shame because they're all good in their own right. Granted, there are always some songs that may not suit our taste as much. Because I've mentioned a few times, we've talked about songs that are good and well done, but may not suit my taste. Because
yeah, exactly. Just because it's not to my taste doesn't mean that it's not a good song, or it doesn't mean that other people won't like it. Yeah.
But like there are definite highlights to those songs. So, and like when it comes to Bumkey's The Lady, it is definitely one of those songs that I would say is to my taste, and it
Absolutely.
is because I don't listen to Bumkey very much. I very much listen more to like Mamamoo and Moonbyul, or even like BB or whatnot, And this song actually makes me want to listen to more of Bumkey's
what he has to offer.
and his discography, because the amount of soul and passion he has in this song just makes it more interesting.
Now I have shared, or one of us has shared one of his other releases, earlier releases from this year as well, in our chat. And that was also a very soulful song. He's soulful R&B, but this one had a lot more kind of jazzy flair to it as well. So that's why I like it for this one. It had a lot more. It resonated with us a lot more. So.
Yeah, I think it that jazz soul definitely resonates very much.
Yeah, because his previous release was much more kind of subdued. It relied much more on his soulful vocal delivery, than the actual like instrumentation. So I'm trying to find that song title. It was a Letter to Heaven. That's what it was. So
okay.
Yep. But and again, that was another great song.
Right.
And highly recommend it as well. So, song of the week.
All right.
Go.
Shoot. I'm gonna have to give it to Bumkey The Lady featuring Moonbyul.
Yeah, like as much as I want to give it to like Lisa and Bonnie, I just that jazziness, man. That fresh, burst of happiness feeling with the, and the feeling of like just being in love is like, it's such a great song.
It's such a great song to spring as well.
How do you not get caught up in this song?
Right?
So, all right. Well, I guess it's time for our quick shots. So, first up, we got Brave Girls yet again. They got themselves their 7th win, music show win, and a triple crown. So in this case, 3 wins in a row on the same show. Amazing. Now get this too. On SBS's Inkigayo, they got first place with Roland, and then SG Wannabe got second place with Timeless. But third place was also Brave Girls with We Ride.
Nice.
They keep killing the girls. Just, I want more success for them. More awesome releases from them. And they did also have another release earlier in this week with Latin Department. So that was also another song worth checking out. It's called Red Sun. So on to you.
All right. So for all the Mitzies, all the ITZY fans out there, ITZY recently on the Hanto chart, they beat out the recent record they beat out the previous sales record for Not Shy with Mafia in the Morning, or the Guess Who album. That I don't know how I'm saying this. It's making more sense in my head until I'm actually saying it. But so Guess Who just recently beat out Not Shy as their highest first week sales to date for their mini albums. Very much congrats to ITZY. And the song is actually really, really amazing. So if you have not checked out Mafia in the Morning, go check it out. It is such a bop.
Yeah, it really got me excited for ITZY all over again. So yeah. All right, well, so I guess it's time to wrap it up.
All right, let's do it. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Follow if you like our content. Please follow, subscribe. We have our socials in the comments or in the description. We have the other music videos that we talked about and we couldn't talk about that were released this week or previous week, whatever, in the comments, as well as our Patreon. And thank you very much to our patrons. We very much appreciate and love all the support that you have given us. It really helps us to continue making the content that we have been making and continually try to improve. We very much appreciate and care about every one of you. And, thank you for listening. We appreciate everyone who comes every week to watch our content. Other than that, we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.